Good morning, my beautiful people. Y'all know once I start to put the lights on, we got another video. Yes, I shaved my head. I look like a milk dud, but I bet you won't roast me. I bet you're not brave enough to roast. I dare you to say something in them comments. But, all seriousness, guys, the reason why I love this channel is because on this channel, we get a lot. We get world news, we get politics, we get corrupt cops, we get tyrant peace officers, we get everything. We get business, how to successfully run a business, take notes on running a successful business. Then we go across countries. We go to Russia, China. There's a lot that this channel offers, man. We are literally all around the world. From news to traveling to real estate, everything, man. That's why on this channel, we are the dopest. Reactions with Ace, y'all are the dopest, man. Nobody's better. I did do this one. I don't know if I posted it yet, though. Mm-hmm. Let's go to this one. So remember, I also said that we would start doing anime too. So this is going to be my first anime one. Let's get into it.
Through the hype,
This is the Demon Slayer anime.
Demon Slayer mark transformations that the strongest Demon Slayers undergo, how they look, and what insane levels of power they unlock for each Hashira, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Chill Hashira with it and smash that like button if you enjoy seeing Demon Slayer videos like this one on the channel and want
And Demon Slayer is about to get crazy, bro. I want to see Muzan get his neck chopped off.
to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Demon Slayer Corps by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss future Demon Slayer videos and updates on the channel, especially now that the new hype season has started to air. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So I think it makes sense to go through these chronologically. So we will briefly go over some stuff that's already happened in the anime, since as we know, the Mist Hashira Muichiro and the Love Hashira Mitsuri already unlocked these Demon Slayer marks in the previous season. First, let's jump into Muichiro, who manifested the mark during his fight against Upper Moon 5 Gyoko. We see his marks clearly during chapter 118 when Muichiro has finally regained his memories. The marks for him appear on his face and look rather cloudy, which makes sense for the Mist Hashira. After he goes Demon Slayer mark Super Saiyan mode, Muichiro gets so much stronger that the rest of the fight is not even close. And that's saying a lot because even a Hashira single-handedly beating an Upper Moon is unheard of.
His fight against Upper Moon 5 was nasty. Demon Slayer has the best visual anime right now, especially when it comes to fight scenes. We're not talking about fisticuffs, straight hands, fight scenes, and bro, Demon Slayer is on its own level, bro. For real. Definitely top 3 new animes.
Let alone a Hashira flexing on that Upper Moon, single-handedly. Gyoko is clearly confused because Muichiro's body should be paralyzed from his attack. Nevertheless, Demon Slayer mark Muichiro can't be stopped. Before long, Muichiro straightforwardly tells Gyoko and Upper Moon that he's going to cut off his head and end him. After awakening the mark, he also says, and I quote, I sort of feel like I'm in incredible shape right now, end quote. Given all the damage and poison he's taken up to this point, that's a pretty big deal in and of itself. Gyoko decides to use his own final form, which he calls his perfect beautiful form. Despite how chill Muichiro is acting during this fight, especially at this point in the...
He is so chill, bro. And I like him because he's not a Sasuke. He's not just a chill, quiet dickhead. No, he's a freaking awesome goat. Gentle heart, training now. He's a awesome Hashira. And he's younger than Tanjiro, or Tanjiro's age. I believe he's younger than Tanjiro.
The fight, this form of Gyoko's is very dangerous. Anyone his fist touches turns into fish, and his speed, strength, and flexibility are all significantly improved too. However, Muichiro just smiles and says even the strongest attacks are pointless if they don't hit. He's acting like the ultimate troll to Gyoko.
fuck he was, and I just said, Marisa is still enemy though, so it's okay to talk crap.
And I love it. Muichiro finally puts the upper moon out of his misery with mist-breathing 7th form obscuring clouds. To Gyoko, it looks like he's disappearing enshrouded in mist. And then, before Muichiro slices the
That was a cold fucking scene, guys.
demon's head, he asks him, "Did you think you were the only one who wasn't being serious before?" Muichiro's attack is so fast and confusing that it took Gyoko a minute to realize his
No matter where he was, the Demon Slayer, he would move through the mist. He's seeing after image. The demon was seeing after image. He didn't know what to do, bro.
demon head had been cut off. The narrator lets us know that Demon Slayer Mark Muichiro was faster at his top speed than Gyoko, and the narrator feels the need to tell us just how impressive this powered-up Muichiro is when he says, and I quote, "Already injured Muichiro defeated an upper rank. This was indeed an incredible turn of events," end quote. Moving on to Mitsuri the Love Hashira, whose own Demon Slayer Mark Awakening was...
I'm not gonna lie, I missed her Demon Slayer Awakening. I don't know how I missed that. Because when she was fighting him, she did have a flashback, but I don't remember the flashback giving her a mark, dude.
instrumental in the defeat of the even more powerful Upper Moon 4 Hantengu. Mitsuri's Demon
I'm not gonna lie, somebody needs to remake that number 4 on Tengu in another anime. That dude was too badass to be dying so quick.
Slayer mark manifests on her neck, and you can see 2 heart shapes when you look at it, which of course makes sense for the Love Hashira. After
I gave her that hickey, that was me.
she awakens the mark, Hantengu remarks that she is moving even faster than before. She was definitely very outmatched before the Demon Slayer mark power-up, but after she awakens it, she is actually able to take on Zohakuten, Hantengu's strongest form. Maybe she's still not strong enough to beat him. Take on Zohakuten, Hantengu's strongest form. Maybe she's still not...
Bro, this dude is legit. Look at this. Small dude, and y'all already know who he reminds us of, right? A fucking Majin Buu. Freaking Majin Buu. This dude's legit.
not strong enough to beat him, but she's improved enough so that Zohakuten thinks to himself, and I quote, "It's extremely vexing. Because of this girl, I can't send a beast after those kids," end quote. Being able to single-handedly distract and occupy such a strong opponent, one stronger than Gyoko, is no small feat. Mitsuri occupies Zohakuten for multiple chapters, and finally, just as she's crying and saying she can't take it anymore, Tanjiro defeats the main body, and Zohakuten starts to disappear as well. In contrast to Demon Slayer Mark Muichiro, Demon Slayer Mark Mitsuri didn't become strong enough to defeat her Upper Moon opponent, but considering how strong Mitsuri was before the Awakening, and that her Upper Moon was even stronger than Muichiro's, I can honestly say that this Demon Slayer power-up was no less impressive than the first. Believe it or not, Water Hashira Giyu is the next one to go.
He's one of my favorite ones, bro. Especially hearing the latest episode that he felt like he wasn't a true Hashira because of certain circumstances. I'm not going to spoil. But for him to feel like that and still become a Hashira after the fact, it's nutty, bro. This dude even created his own form, the 11th form. And it is nutty.
Go Super Saiyan Demon Mark mode. And that's ironic because I recently watched the latest episode in the anime.
And if you are blessed this morning to wake up, don't like, don't comment, don't subscribe. Send up a prayer to God and let him know, hey, I thank you for waking me up. I might be lukewarm, I might do this, I might do that, but I thank you, God. I thank you, Jesus Christ. Let's go.
And he was pretty much saying he'd never awaken the mark. But yeah, he is the next one to do it. Before his awakening, Upper Moon 3 Akaza sends him flying with a kick. I'm talking crashing through multiple walls kind of kick.
Oh, bro, I can't wait to Akaza versus Tanjiro, round number 2, bro. Tanjiro is going to kill Akaza.
It takes him a while to just make it back to where
I hope he slices him bit by bit, bro.
Tanjiro and Akaza are still fighting. When he finally returns, the usually stoic Giyu even says, and I quote, "Now I'm mad," end quote. And when a chill character says that, you know it's a big deal. Giyu explains that for the first time in a long while, he's up against a strong opponent that overwhelms him, and he realizes that his senses have been sharply honed in a very short time. Senses that were closed off to him have awakened. Now he understands how the intense struggle to survive increases one's skills. This is when we see Gyu's face and his Demon Slayer
Oh, my boy looks like he's about to go nutty.
mark is on his left cheek. You could say the design of the mark appears to be fluid-like and reminiscent of waves and water. Akaza immediately notices that his mark manifested and that his speed increased. It's clear that Gyu is a different beast from before, and Tanjiro even comments that Akaza and Gyu are so fast, but the problem is that Akaza quickly adapted to Gyu's increased speed. Then for a considerable amount of time, Demon Slayer Mark Gyu keeps Akaza busy while Tanjiro tries to think of a way to defeat Akaza. This extra time helps Tanjiro gain access to the transparent world and the selfless state, which will end up being the key to defeating Akaza because it doesn't trigger his
I can't wait, bro.
fighting spirit, spidey senses. By chapter 152, Demon Slayer Mark Gyu and Akaza are still going at it, and we see Gyu's attack take the form of a dragon. I point that out because it seems like the strongest attacks in Demon Slayer, if you pay attention, seem to do the same and are associated with dragons. You see that with Zenitsu's strongest attack, Flaming Thunder God, and in Sun Breathing, the strongest breath style. However, despite the fact
Zenitsu, I ain't gonna lie, that top 3 is my favorite. Tanjiro, Zangetsu, and the other dude, bro. They are just awesome to me. What was it? Inosuke? Yeah, they are awesome. I didn't like the Thunder dude at first because I don't like cowards, bro. So y'all know I don't like Usopp. Even though Usopp has his moments, bro, Usopp should not be a coward. Your captain is a literal fucking emperor. I've never seen somebody on Emperor's crew in Straw Hat be a coward. On an Emperor's crew, what are we talking about?
that Super Saiyan Mark Gyu is stronger than ever before, he's still not strong enough for such a powerful opponent. Eventually, Akaza decides it's time to finish him, and in what I consider to be one of the biggest flexes in anime history, he breaks this Master Swordsman's sword with his fist. That's right, he breaks a sword by punching it. Luckily though, Demon Slayer Mark Gyu did buy enough time for Tanjiro to figure out and unlock.
And I will make sure that you guys know that there are spoilers in here, so y'all don't get explained. I did not want him to explain this yet.
The selfless state, as I mentioned. At this point, Tanjiro, who remember was the first to manifest the Demon Slayer mark out of this generation, is stronger than Gyu. While Gyu's dead calm cannot defend against Akaza's final form attack, selfless state Tanjiro can now see things as if time is passing in slow motion. Gyu is hit with 100 blows all at once, and it brings him to his knees.
Damn, that bro, Akiza is a beast, bro. And it's crazy. He's number 3. The number 2 was after number 3, right? So Akaza was a monster before number 2 was, right? But somehow number 2 ended up passing Akaza. So I just wonder how strong is that dude?
But Tanjiro, who Akaza cannot sense since Tanjiro is not giving off any killing intent in this form, is standing. Not only that, he lets Akaza know he's going to cut off his head before he does it, and even with this warning, Akaza is unable to stop him. The fight goes on for a little bit longer, and Akaza almost regrows his head before ultimately deciding to self-destruct. But for the purposes of this video, we saw what
Y'all heard that right. For the purposes of his soul and his story, he decided Akiza's the only demon who got his head cut off and could have regrowed it.
we needed to see. Gyu's Demon Slayer mark and the power-up that resulted from it. It allowed him to occupy someone as strong as Upper Moon 3 Akaza for long enough so that Tanjiro could find a way to defeat him. Again, as we move on through these battles, we can see that these power-ups aren't as big game changers as Muichiro's was against Upper Moon 5. But it's important to note that that's only because the opponents are getting so much stronger. The Demon Slayer mark power-ups themselves.
Yeah, Akiza number 3, bro. He even beat it. Rengoku, which is the most devastating, the second most devastating fire ability to die. We all know the first one, Ace. That was the most horrific death ever. I want to kill Akanu after that. Bro, that is the most horrific death in fucking flame history, bro. But he made me sad too, bro, after Ace. Because he just had so much potential, bro. And it sucked that they just killed him off just to show how strong the demons were. And this Demon Slayer had so much to give, man.
themselves are no less impressive when considering how much they boost the Hashira in question's existing stats. To really bring this point home, Demon Slayer Mark Muichiro himself is absolutely wrecked by Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo. It doesn't take long for him to himself is existing stats. To really bring this point home, Demon Slayer Mark Muichiro himself is absolutely wrecked by Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo. It doesn't take long for him to lose his hand and to be pinned to a pool. Then Wind Hashira Sanemi comes in and actually fares better than Demon Slayer Mark Muichiro did, which shows us that not all marked ones are at a similar power level. If a character is stronger than another, then their marked form will be stronger as well, since it's pretty much amplified.
I'm not gonna lie, I never thought that he was that strong. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see.
Their existing strength, speed, and so on. Even before he awakens as Demon Slayer Mark, Kokushibo is impressed by Sanemi's base power level. He thinks to himself, and I quote, "He keeps up with my techniques. This feeling is so nostalgic and makes me want to try harder," end quote. Even after Kokushibo thinks he gave Sanemi lethal wounds, Sanemi keeps pushing forward to the point where even Kokushibo thinks to himself that this is not something a human should be able to do. Over and over again, it looks like it's over, but base Sanemi continues to fight until the strongest Hashira, Stone Pillar Gyome, appears to help.
Let's go.
Him. We gotta talk about Gyome and Sanemi.
This dude is a rock for real.
Together because they both manifest their Demon Slayer marks at right about the same time during this fight. Gyome is known as the strongest Hashira, everyone accepts in the story, and he has the confidence to match that #1 position. He tells Sanemi to stitch up his wounds right now, and while he's doing that, Gyome will handle this guy, meaning Upper Moon 1. For any Hashira, that's a big ask, but Gyome is no ordinary Hashira. Kokushibo immediately notices Gyome is special, thinking to himself, wonderful, the perfect physical form developed to the utmost. How long has it been since I've set my eyes on such a great swordsman? Perhaps 300 years, end quote. After some fighting, he also thinks to himself that Gyome is heavy built and has the strength to wield his heavy weapon like an extension of his own body with so much lightness and agility. Kokushibo, Upper Moon 1 himself,
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I've been waiting to see him fight for a while, bro.
Thinks it's unbelievable, which is high praise, and this is all before Gyome even awakens his Demon Slayer mark. Gyome even succeeds in destroying Kokushibo's sword, which is significant. Yeah, since it is made of Kokushibo's flesh, he can regrow it, but as a former samurai, you know he doesn't like having to do that. It's definitely a small victory for Gyome already. Still, Gyome sees that he's gonna have to step it up a notch, and so he says he was saving this for Muzan, but if he loses now, he'll have gained nothing. He says, and I quote, "I have to use it now," end quote, and that's when he awakens his Demon Slayer mark. For him, it appears on his powerful arms, and it is reminiscent of the earth cracking from an earthquake, which also seems fitting for the stone.
That is cold, bro. That is sick. He's my favorite Hashira who hasn't. Rengoku's gonna always be my favorite, bro. It just sucks how he died. Because I like flames. Flames, electricity, and flying. Those are like my top 3 abilities if I could have them, right? So to me, Rengoku's going to always be the GOAT.
Hashira. This is where Kokushibo says that the marked ones die before they reach the age of 25, and since Gyome is 27, it's not looking good. Kokushibo points out that yes, Demon Slayer marks improve power, but also reduce your lifespan. He supposes that Gyome will probably die tonight because of this power up. And honestly, here we get one of my favorite parts, where Gyome says he doesn't lament it, even if he does die tonight, since after all, even without the mark, there's no guarantee a Demon Slayer will live to tomorrow. He asks, why would I cling to life at this point? No one becomes a Hashira.
Some of y'all need to listen to this. Y'all clinging to life, running towards the wrong thing, and it's just like, for what? Somebody's coming, and all this stuff that we were trying to succeed, it won't matter, bro. We gotta turn away while we can, man. This is for those who are listening. To those who are gonna get left behind, let them get left behind.
With such half-hearted determination, end quote. Gyome responded like such a boss here, and I loved it. Demon Slayer mark Gyome and Kokushibo continue their fight as Sanemi gets ready to rejoin. But before he does, we see that he too now has manifested his Demon Slayer mark. It's
He is the most girliest one ever, bro. Like, what?
On his right cheek and is reminiscent of a windmill. Again, a very fitting mark, in this case for the Wind Hashira. Now that Kokushibo has to face Mark Gyome and Mark Sanemi, Sanemi, it's a completely different ballgame. It's revealed that these two train together as Hashira, and Kokushibo is surprised that in a battle of this speed, they can cooperate so effectively. He thinks that perhaps these two are highly skilled even among the Hashira, especially Gyome. Kokushibo tries to break Sanemi's sword since he sees that Sanemi is the weak link of the two. Perhaps that might have worked before, but after his Demon Slayer Mark awakening, Sanemi is able to respond quickly and turn his sword so that it doesn't break. Kokushibo notes that his reflexes are getting faster. Kokushibo, the strongest Upper Moon, is continually being impressed, saying that
I can't wait to see Kokushibo fight.
after manifesting the mark and suffering a fatal wound that would normally have taken him out of the fight, Sanemi is becoming faster and more accurate. Gyome manages to chop off Kokushibo's ear. Kokushibo is clearly more on the defensive than he planned to be. They press Kokushibo hard enough so that he has to extend his sword and thus his reach. In this way, he catches them by surprise with an attack. Keep in mind, as we later find out, Kokushibo wanted to be the strongest samurai in his old human life. And so every time they push him to do things like regrow his sword or extend it in a monstrous way, aka stuff a normal samurai couldn't and wouldn't do, they're in a way winning because he has to stray from the path of a true samurai to stand the fight. These moral victories stack up as the fight goes on. Still,
Let's go, Demon Slayers.
Sanemi especially is struggling, awakened or not. He lost his fingers from the surprise attack, and he only got away so easily because Gyome altered the angle of the attack. Sanemi thinks to himself that the more damage he takes, the slower he gets, and the more he holds back Gyome. Eventually, Sanemi has to be saved by Mist Hashira Muichiro, who despite being pinned to a pillar before, is not done yet. And I just realized that Kokushibo pinned a pillar to a pillar. Although, back to the topic at hand, they're definitely losing. The Demon Slayer Mark power-ups do buy them enough time for Gyome to unlock access to the transparent world like Tanjiro did before him. And it does not matter that Gyome is blind, since as he says, his eyes that cannot see are eyes that see through to the essence. Soon enough, you have Demon Slayer Mark Muichiro,
I did not know he was blind, bro. That's crazy.
Slayer Mark Sanemi, and Demon Slayer Mark Gyome launching a collective attack. Muichiro uses his newfound access to the transparent world, which Kokushibo also has and has been using to predict their attacks before their launch, to get in close and to stab Kokushibo. Gyome had launched a rosary ball that struck Kokushibo's hand and dulled his attacks just a little, but it was enough. Kokushibo further explains that Gyome deceived his eyes by controlling his own blood circulation to mislead him. So these different factors allowed Muichiro to stab Kokushibo and Gyome's spiked ball to tear off one of his arms. Again, if he was a normal samurai, he would have already lost this match and his life, and don't think that that doesn't bother Kokushibo whether he's a demon or not. At this point, a Genya who has eaten Kokushibo's demon flesh has awakened his own Kokushibo-like demon mark, and he uses his power to shoot and control bullets from his gun.
What? Even he gets an awakening, bro? This is gonna be nutty, bro. The only bad thing is that in Demon Slayer, bro, everybody dies, man. Too many important people died. We obviously should have known with how they killed off Rengoku, but this is Demon Slayer, bro, to the Arthur, bro. You suck. You suck as a person, you suck. Not really, but dude, that sucks, bro. We have enough depression in this world.
Despite the fact that Kokushibo deflected them, like living things, the bullets turned and sank into Kokushibo's body. Genya activates his own blood demon art, and the bullets sprout into tree roots that trap Kokushibo. For the first time in this battle, he feels this disturbing feeling running from the center of his body to the top of his head. His life feels threatened as the core of his body freezes up. This sensation of his composure crumbling up from his feet is detestable to him and brings back memories from 400 years ago when his twin brother and the strongest demon slayer in history, Yorichi, almost killed
I cannot wait to see this dude fight Muzan.
him, but died of old age before he could unleash the finishing blow. Kokushibo grows swords from all over his body like a demon porcupine.
So, y'all remember when they were like, if you get the mark, you die at 25. That's not true. Yoshiryu had the mark all his fucking life, and he lived to an old man. So
and slashes are sent flying in every direction. Muichiro is cut in half horizontally and Genya vertically. Then Muichiro manages to turn his blade red because the boss is still holding his sword in Kokushibo despite losing the lower half of his body. Everyone is still attacking. Genya activates his roots yet again, even though he's dying as well. Kokushibo finds that he can't use a technique since Genya's tree in his back is sucking up his blood and his body is seizing due to the intense pain of Muichiro's now red katana. On top of the efforts of these two, Gyome lands
he turned his katana red.
his spike ball.
So those who don't know, if you can turn your katana red, you have an advantage with your sword that you don't like if it's blue or black like Tanjiro's was.
On Kokushibo, and Sanemi pushes it down with his own sword. The weapons turn red like Muichiro's, and together all of this is enough to finally take the strongest Demon Moon's head off. So their Demon Slayer marked forms, when put together, were enough to get this far against the strongest Upper Moon, although it required some subsequent power-ups.
It took 3 Demon Slayers to take that dude out.
2 that can follow Demon Slayer mark
3 Hashiras at that.
Awakening, like access to the transparent world and red blades. Now Kokushibo does regrow his head and takes on an even more monstrous form than before. Think Man-Spider from the animated Spider-Man series, but this resistance is short-lived. He sees his reflection in Sanemi's blade and doesn't recognize the ugly monster he's become. He asks himself, is this how a samurai looks? Is this really what I wanted? And then his body starts to fall apart from where Muichiro, his descendant, stabbed him. Gyome and Sanemi continue to attack until there is nothing left of Kokushibo. In the end, their Demon Slayer marked forms were strong enough to lead to this outcome, the defeat of the strongest Upper Moon. Now before I get to the final Hashira who activates the Demon Slayer mark power-up, I will say that some Hashira didn't do it at all. Flame Hashira Kyojuro Rengoku didn't activate it.
Bro, are you serious, bro? Are you serious, bro? You gonna disrespect Rengoku like that? Oh yeah, we gotta catch the fade. We gotta catch the fade, bro.
Because he died before he had the chance. But that definitely makes me wonder how strong he could have become.
Oh, he would have been nutty
if he lived long enough to do so. After all, he did amazingly well against Akaza in his base form one-on-one. Furthermore, Sound Hashira Tengen retired without activating it, and Insect Hashira Shinobu died without activating it as well. But it must be said, Shinobu, despite not being an especially strong Hashira, and without ever manifesting the mark, did find a way to beat Upper Moon to Doma, albeit with the help of Inosuke and Kanao as well. However, that's a topic for another video, and if you want to see me talk in detail about her epic defeat of Doma, one of my favorite moments in manga, then check out my best revenge moments in anime video after you're finished this one. For now though, we turn to the Serpent Hashira, Obanai Iguro, the last but definitely not the least. My boy Iguro is an underrated underdog, and
he reminds me of Sasuke. Sasuke was the second most powerful in the village, right? But he didn't really show it off. He didn't really, unless he had to, unless there was a threat to the village, right? That's what he reminds me of. Somebody in the background who's really strong as crap, bro. And you can't underestimate him.
doesn't really get a chance to shine until the final battle against Muzan, but oh man, does he ever deliver when it's finally his time. It is during the final Muzan fight that the Serpent Hashira Iguro finally awakens his Demon Slayer mark. Iguro was actually inspired by Muichiro's example, who on the verge of death turned his katana red against Kokushibo. In his view, although it must be said he's probably too hard on himself, Iguro says he's achieved less in this battle against Muzan than anyone up to this point. He needs to step up, and then speculating based on the Crow's report about Muichiro, he thinks all Muichiro could have done was strongly grip his katana in that moment. Thus Iguro does the same. He thinks what stains a blade red is its wielder pressing himself to the brink of death. We see the manifested mark, and for Iguro, it's multiple snake-like marks on his left arm, with one extending all the way down over his heart. Again, we see some dots thrown into the design, which also seems to be a recurring pattern for some like Giyu and Sanemi. Iguro exerts so much energy that his grip becomes like a vice, and we see his blade turn red too. It's very cool to see that he just focused on it, and then awakened his Demon Slayer mark and turned his sword red. For most, it just seemed to happen in the heat of battle, but our boy Iguro is just like, it's time, and it gets done. This power-up makes Iguro one of the biggest stars of the Muzan fight.
No cap, because to say, hey, it's time, and to just do it, that's a big feat. Especially when people, Demon Slayers for years have lost that. Demon Slayers for years have lost the marking. They lost that that power mark.
He starts to cut off Muzan's tentacles and then kicks them away to prevent easy regeneration.
So for him to just say, no, fuck this, I'm gonna do it anyway, that's a feat.
Of the slices. It's important to note that even without a demon slayer,
and he's fighting Muzan, bro. Not even the number one dude, the number one demon commander. He's fighting the king, the commander, the emperor of all demons, and decided to do that. Big dog.
Mark, Iguro was avoiding Muzan's tentacles and fared better than a Mitsuri who had already awakened her Demon Slayer mark by this point. There was also a moment where he straight up saved Giyu after the water Hashira dropped his sword. So if base Iguro can do that, you can only imagine how much more impressive he gets. Now at first, the power-up almost seems like a big mistake, because he tried so hard to turn his sword red that he started seeing stars and nearly fainted in the middle of battle due to lack of oxygen. It seems like this mistake is going to cost him dearly, but luckily he saved himself from one of Muzan's tentacles, and Demon Slayer Mark Iguro lives on to fight. Iguro lands a great attack, taking multiple of Muzan's limbs in one fluid snake-like strike. And Sanemi is the one to notice that Muzan's regenerating slower from the attacks because Iguro is using a red blade.
This dude is still alive.
Demon Slayer Mark Iguro is then also one of the elite few who actually sees the transparent world as well. Nevertheless, soon enough, Muzan has, at least temporarily, taken down all of the Hashira. They are all down for the count while Tanjiro appears to save Kano's life. Iguro is the first one to recover, and although he's lost his vision, he can still fight and saves Tanjiro from one of Muzan's attacks. It turns out he's now getting help from his friend snake Kaburamaru, who serves as his eyes. Together, Tanjiro and Iguro continue to fight Muzan until Muzan gets weak enough for old Muzan.
That is gonna be a dope fight, bro. Muzan is the one who killed Tanjiro's mom, brothers, sisters. He slaughtered the whole family, bro.
Wounds to appear on his body. Wounds that Yoriichi, the strongest demon slayer in history, left on his body centuries ago. We get to the point where the Demon King Muzan actually starts running for his life, and Iguro is the one who stops him by catching up and stabbing his neck from behind. It's an epic moment. Iguro does all this without being able to see, and then later, with Yushiro's seals, he gains access to Kaburamaru's vision. He says it isn't like human sight, but I can see better now, so fighting is much easier, end quote. Now it's important to keep in mind that Muzan this whole time is slowing down because of Tamayo's aging potion as well, but still, it shouldn't be ignored that Demon Slayer Mark Iguro arguably plays a bigger role than any other Hashira in this final fight. Tanjiro,
like I said, just like Sasuke,
and Iguro are so successful that a scared Muzan tries to divide to escape like he did against Yoriichi in the past, but he can't because of Tamayo's concoction. So cornered, he resorts to his blood demon art that momentarily paralyzes them. But soon enough, the others have gotten back up to join the fight again. Nobody is 100%, but everyone is doing what they can. When Muzan tries to eat Tanjiro, Iguro throws himself in the way. And yet, he still has enough fight in him to join the others and attack Muzan when he gets into his defensive giant baby Muzan form. Iguro attacks him with his twin-headed reptile attack. Muzan is ultimately defeated by the fighters and the sun. Iguro then has the energy to go confess his feelings to Mitsuri, and they agree to be husband and wife in their next lives before they die. So holy smokes, what a beast Demon Slayer Mark Iguro was. He
you see what I'm saying, bro?
claimed to be accomplishing the least against Muzan in base form, even though he was better at surviving than awakened Mitsuri, but after he awakened, he played a bigger role than any other Hashira in defeating Muzan. Now if you enjoyed learning about every Hashira's Demon Slayer,
bro, that was dope, bro. That was dope. You guys like, comment, and subscribe. These are all the videos we gotta watch together. Y'all see they loaded up. They haven't even really watched that. Y'all know I don't be playing. Y'all can catch somebody in the lives, bro, when they got their computers loaded up. And it's just fucking halfway through and you gotta pull it back. Nah, bro. Like I said, bro, we don't pre-watch our videos over here, man. No cap. So I hope y'all having a beautiful morning, man. That's it for this one. We're going to the next one.